right, I want to just take a brief review of Q3 2023 as it relates to ransomware. There was a minute there where it looked like ransomware was maybe going to kind of die off, but that's really not the case. Q2, Q3 numbers are up again. In Q2, there was 1,386 reported cases. Q3, there was 1,420 cases, which you think about that, that's not an incredible amount of number, but those are reported cases. There's probably, a 10x that little events that happen that were actually never reported, but is a number that we can at least track. There's 10 major types of the actual ransomware families that are out there. And in Q3 of those cases, 252 of them were LockBit 3 and 177 of them were Klopp. So we're looking at those two ones being the major players in encryption. Now, when we look at countries that are targeted, by far and away, the U.S., it's U.S. having 616 of those cases, UK 82, Canada 54, Germany 40, France 40, Australia 36, Italy 34, Spain 22, Netherlands 17, and Brazil 16. So we see by far and away America is the most targeted country on the planet as it relates to ransomware in Q3 of 2023. When we look at the actual the sectors, the business sectors that were affected, of these, 1,420 cases, 525 of those cases were business services, 232 were manufacturing, 148 in retail, 131 in finance, 131 in insurance, 131 in real estate, and 70 targeted towards critical infrastructure. So we see a lot of things happening here, but in general, of course, business services is a very broad category. I think the takeaway from the sectors that are getting targeted is very broad. There is no sector that's truly not being targeted. And you have to think about how these guys work. Some of it is just random. They're not basically spear phishing. They're not going after one thing. They're shotgun blasting. They're just sending out, say, emails or trying to capture people with maybe phone calls, using social engineering. But it's very broad. There is no sector that is truly safe, is kind of the point. I don't want to go into it, but it's interesting. This interesting read is that there has been actually some people who have been caught and indicted, and so maybe the good guys are making a little bit of impact on things as far as being able to map out and find out who these bad actors are and catch them. One neat thing that happened was there was actually one guy, his name's Ashley Lyles, and he was actually a IT worker, and he's actually been jailed for impersonating a ransomware gang to extort his employer. So a lot of people are taking up in arms, as far as trying to attack us. So we really need to be vigilant. I'd love to talk with you. You can fill out the form below. I'd like to talk with you about the top 6 things. I want to put together a technology roadmap for you. And if we can put those 6 things in place that are really affordable, they'll lower your overall cyber risk by 85%. Because what we have to understand is that ultimately, business owners really aren't doing the greatest job, in plain terms, of protecting themselves. It's basically they're leaving the car unlocked, hoping that a criminal doesn't come by and jiggle the doorways. So hit me up. We'll talk about those top 6 things.